All right, hi business bestie. So this is the last video in our Filter Your Focus series. So if you have missed the other videos, what you waiting now? Go back and make sure you watch the rest of the videos in this Filter Your Focus series, because you're going to need all the videos to come to this one place, right? So we're talking about today filtering your focus on your product or service. So here's what I want you to do. This is your assignment for filtering your focus on your product or service. Because you already know the brand message that you want people to walk away from when they come to your site, when they come and interact with you or your business. You already know who the client is that you're dealing with, the person that you're focusing on, the person who this product or service is going to be for. You already have all the information, right? 2, 3, you're already set up on the platform that you know this person is going to be on. So when you're starting to deliver your product or your service, or you start marketing and advertising, guess what? You're going to be where they are, and they're going to be looking for what you have, because you filtered your focus and you understood what they want, right? You understood where they are. You understood what you want them to get from your business. So let's get into let's get into filtering your focus on your product or service. I'm going to be looking down because I have some notes and I don't want to miss it, because you're my business bestie and I want to make sure you catch it all. So, okay. So the first thing we're going to talk about is, what is the product or services that your business provides for this person, right? The other question I want you to answer, which a lot of people don't answer, is, what problem does it solve for your client? What problem does it solve? Because if it doesn't solve a problem for your client, why are they going to buy it? Right? Why are they buying it? If it's not solving any of the problems, why are they going to buy this product or service from you? So make sure you understand what the problem is that it's solving, your product or service. Hold on. Oh, here's a good question that I want you to answer. How much is she willing to pay for it? A lot of people miss this step when they are building their product or services, right? And especially when you know the person. Sorry, I'm just squinting my face. Especially when you know the person who it is that is buying this thing. How much is she willing to pay for it? Right? Because you know who the client is that you are targeting. How much is she willing to pay for it? Because if she is not willing to pay $20 for this service, if she is not willing to pay $100 for your service, if she is not willing to pay $200 for this service, why are you creating it? Then you're probably looking at the wrong person. You're probably looking at the wrong profile. You're probably looking at the wrong client. Because I see it happen a lot of times. A lot of people, they focus on creating products for, let's say, newbies in business. They focus on creating a lot of products for newbies. And guess what? Newbies in business, a lot of times, you know what they're doing? They're doing it themselves. Because they're not making a lot of money in their business. So they're not looking to pay somebody, because they're not bringing in, or they're not generating that income yet. When they're at a point when they start generating income, then maybe they'll start thinking about, going out and getting help from other people, going out and outsourcing, right? Or going out and building themselves a team of people, because they can afford it, and now they have the money. So if what it is that you're offering is not solving their problem and they're not willing to pay for it, especially if it's a newbie business, why are you creating that product for them? So think about that, okay? So I really want you to think about it. How much is she willing to pay for it? How much are they going to be willing to pay for it, especially when you understand and know the profile? I think that's the reason why a lot of people lately have been, doing these signature offers that are like $1,000 and more, right? The reason why they're doing that is because they know those people have money. Right? Nobody wants to focus on the newbie anymore, because the newbies don't have any money. Everybody wants to focus on the person who has money. Nobody wants to focus on the person who doesn't, or the business that doesn't have the money. If you listen to a lot of the people who are out there talking now, they're talking about, their high price item, their signature service that is like $1,000 and more, because they're focusing on people who have money. And that's smart. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. That is very smart, because that person has the budget, and they're willing to pay to get the results that they are looking for. That is a very smart business move, right? But if you are somebody who thinks that you're focusing on a newbie, or you're focusing on a single mom whose budget might be tight, Like, think about that. If you're focusing on single moms whose budget is tight, how much is she going to be willing to pay for your service? Because, or your product? Because that means your service or your product definitely needs to solve a problem in her life, because she's not going to be willing to pay for it if it doesn't. Because that single mom has to make sure that she has money for her kids. She has money to send her kids to daycare. She has money to put in her child's college fund. That single mom is not going to be letting go of dollars just like that unless it's a problem that it has to solve for her or her family. So think about that. How much is she willing to pay for it? I know I talked about this one ad nauseum, so we're going to move on to the next one. Who else sells the same thing that you're selling to her? Who else does it? Because a lot of times you need to look at your competitors, and if there's not a lot of competition in a market, maybe it's because, especially to a specific client or customer, maybe it's because they know she's not buying it, right? Think about that. If there are not a lot of people in the business that you are trying to do and focusing on the client that you want to focus, it might be because they already been there and they already know she is not willing to spend the money on that. So look to see who your competitors are and look to see who else is selling her the same things that you're trying to sell her. Okay, and the last thing, now if you have the perfect product, the perfect service, you know how much she's willing to spend on it, you found competitors who are selling her the same things, the next thing I want you to answer is, why is she going to pay you versus paying the competitors? Why is she going to pay you? What is so special? What is so unique? What is so great about your product or service that she's going to spend her money with you versus spending her money with somebody else? Think about that. I need you to write it down. Do your homework. I need you to write it down. Because if you're building a business and a brand, these are things that you need to, these are questions that you need to answer. And a lot of, I want to mention, especially when it comes to competitors, and I know we say competitors, but I don't really like the term competitors, because a lot of times I feel like, especially in business, that's what creates, like, you know, you feel like you're against, or, you know, you're trying to pull business away from a specific person, and that's not necessarily the case, right? Because you and that person could probably be business besties, right? Where that's why I always say business besties, because you're not necessarily, even if you're targeting the same person, one person is going to like a different style, and one person is going to like your style. So you're not necessarily taking clients away from that person, because this person would have loved that person's style anyway versus your style. And then you have people who are going to love your style versus the other person's style, right? So when you're thinking about competitors, don't necessarily think of them as, okay, I have to, you know, I'm going to make sure that she doesn't go to this competitor. No, people are going to go to the brand that attracts them, you know, the brand that is catering to them, the brand who filtered their focus down and made sure that they got their message clear, right? They made sure that they were on the platform that customer was on, right? They made sure that they got the customer profile to a T on who this person is, right? And lastly, they made sure that they provided a product or service that was solving a problem for their customer, that they put at a price that she was willing to pay, and they made sure that they researched their market and that it was something that she was actually willing to pay for. So when it comes to competitors, I see competitors as more of inspirations, like people who inspire you, people who, you know, you can get tips from them. They can probably get tips from you. And they're like, in a sense, business. You can be business besties, especially if you're in the same business. So don't look at it as, you don't have to bring down the competition, right? Just make sure that what you're selling, what you're offering is for your client that you're speaking to. And if you do that well, then you don't have to worry about the competition, because the people are going to come to you who are meant for you. People are going to go to them who are meant for them. So don't worry too much about the competition, because there are millions of people out there, and all of them are not going to come to you, and all of them are not going to go to the competition. Let's going back to the very first video when we talked about the bread, right? Remember the bread in the bread aisle. How many different breads do you see in the bread aisle when you go to the grocery store, right? How many different types of orange juice do you see in the store when you go out in the store, right? You got the freshly squeezed orange juice. You got the orange juice from concentrate. You got the one with pulp. You got the one with no pulp, right? People are still buying all of these things. This is how I'm saying when I say to filter your focus on your business. Make sure you filter your focus on your brand message. Make sure you filter your focus on your target audience. Not saying that you can't have multiple tiers of audiences, but filter your focus on one. Perfect that, and then you can worry about the growth in your clients, right? Next, filter your focus on the social media account where you know your client is going to be at, and then worry about all the other social media platforms, and then filter your focus on the product or services that you are offering. So make sure you watch all the videos if you have not watched the videos in this Filter Your Focus series. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this series. I'm going to do some more series on this channel. I like series versus, just dropping like one-off videos. I like this series where you can kind of go high level and then break it down. Let me know if you like that format, if you just want to, give me everything in one video, because I like small doses. And especially for me, see, that's where I'm thinking of. My head is for moms a lot of the time, because hey, I am a mom, right? Like when I'm scheduling my videos, I know that I have to do it in the time that somebody else is at home to watch them, and when I have the time to come in here and actually record when they're quiet, right? So that's why I do these smaller chunk videos, because I know you probably have 10 minutes that you can sneak away from the kids, right? I know you have like 5 minutes you can sneak away from the kids. But let me know in the comments if you prefer the long videos, if you just wanted me to do one big videos with everything, or you prefer the smaller contents in the series, and then we'll go from there. So I hope you enjoyed this series. I hope you've done your homework, and I hope you can filter your focus for your business and your brand. Okay, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and come back for more virtual business solutions, and I will see you guys and talk to you guys in the next video. All right, bye, Bestie.